Welcome back, YouTube. I wanted to provide an update just on kind of like the flattening that we're seeing here in our big golden cross that's coming up. Right now, we're seeing this across the board, but what we're seeing is a kind of like a mellowing out of the aggression in the curve for the 14 headed toward the 72. And I mentioned this a couple of videos ago, which is actually really good, is because we are I'll say the biggest movement that we had here to kind of stop this gap widening between the 72 and the 14 was this rejection here off of around like that high 12, 13 mark. And we made that up. Like this entire thing was made up in a couple of days. But so what we're witnessing is the current price action using the 14-day kind of as a support, which is awesome. It's really good. It's calling a flattening here in this line, and what you're looking at is kind of like building up some support here, even at these levels, kind of like the support in between the major zones here. And what this is going to do is, if there is, once we start closing that gap, we'll have a point of reference to say, okay, well, we're not necessarily going back down to 15. So if we are, matter of fact, let me zoom in here on the charts. So right now, in order to close this gap, if we were to come up and meet it at the 72, we're talking about high 16 range, almost 17 cent. So if we are up there, some shock value comes out, some a whale dumps or whatever, we have a point of reference somewhere in between here to say, okay, well, we have a bunch of tests here right at around this mid 15 range versus coming back down here and say, okay, well, where were we grabbing liquidity before, which would be the mid 14 range. So even here, when we're riding this 14 up, this is absolutely great. And this is one of the things I was talking about the other day on X, which was don't necessarily get caught up in the day-to-day price action saying that, oh, Doge is down. It went down 0.3 of a penny. Or, if I make a video and Doge is, 15.7 or 15.7 or something like that, and then it goes down to 15.3, and then you log on and you see red, all of a sudden it's crashing or something like that. Like, if you're not a day trader, don't obsess over the short-term candles unless you are absolutely swinging this, or you made an entry this morning and you're trying to get out before 5 today. There's no reason to be obsessing over those numbers. So you are looking at a very small time frame on here. And it's one of the things I mentioned on my channel is I say the candle hasn't closed yet. There's a lot of times, especially if you're a long term, or if you're hanging around till peak bull run, if you're a long term, those candles are going to be, especially on the daily, they're going to be very misleading and can cause you to overreact and make some mistakes. Really, imagine here, this here is a daily candle. We started out we're coming down. We started out at 17 cent that day, 17.24. We went down like literally to 12 cent. That is, now if you're going to say I'm saying like don't make a big deal out of falling 0.3 of a penny. Now that is what I would call a significant drop or a dump, right? We went all the way down to really support here around 13 cent. But where did we close the candle? Back above 15 cent. All of this here, that dip was bought, and we closed back at 15 cent. So then it didn't, in a nutshell, by the end of the day, it wasn't that big of a deal, right? We closed back into the same zone, back at support. Another thing is you kind of have to realize how explosive we are now that we are in the bull run cycle. Because if we're talking about something back in last year where we're getting very nominal movement, these are daily candles. Pretty much absolutely nothing on volume. Look at how small these candles are. I would have to zoom in for you even see it moving, closing and opening within tenths of a penny every day. We're not in that time frame anymore. So you cannot be obsessing over those numbers because they're not necessarily going to mean anything. These numbers can be made up in the blink of an eye. Look here, right here. I'm going to drive this point home here. So these are daily candles. So we're talking about 2, 4, 6 days, right? 6 red days in a row. We came down to around 13 cent, right? The support level. We made up 6 days in 2, right? All of that volume, all of that dumping that was going on, the selling, shorts, all that kind of good stuff was all the progress that they had made over 6 days to get the price down. 2 days, and all of that it's like it never happened. The price completely recovered. Same thing here. Back in, what is this? March 18th, right? March 18th, March 19th, a strong move down again to the same support level. And the very next day, we made up for 48 hours of a push down in 24, and we closed back at support. So these are some of the things that you have to kind of consider when you're looking at these numbers. We are on a bullish trend here. And the only thing that we're doing is setting ourselves up for the next leg. And the question is, where is that going to be? Where's that next leg going to launch from? We've established here very strongly, even if you're looking at May 2nd to May 3rd, if you're looking at around the April 13th, March 18th, March 19th, March 3rd, and March 4th, if you're looking at all these here, we've established where Doge grabs liquidity from and what the floor is. The question is, where's the launch going to be? And the beautiful thing is, when we had the last golden cross here, the 1472, we pretty much tripled, right? And we did not give up those gains. We established the floor at around 12, 13 cents, high 12s, 13 cent. And now it's looking like we're going to have that meeting of the minds somewhere between 15 and 16 cent, maybe even high 16s, right? And so that means that's where the next leg is presumably going to start from. And that is exciting here. That's what you want. You want multiples. And when you have your next leg up, you don't necessarily want to give up the momentum here or give up the gains. You establish a higher high. You decide, grab the liquidity, people sell, all that kind of good stuff. Then you go into the next leg. That's what happens. That's what will happen. This will repeat even at a higher number. So it's not abnormal, but this is what we're looking at. And you have to kind of factor those things in. So we are riding the 14 right here. And this isn't exclusive to Doge. We can take a look here across the market. This is why I said crypto and Doge are doing it. The 14 here has been used as literally a support, trampoline, whatever you want to call it. And you have this aggression here, right here for even for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing really phenomenal today. You'll see this 14 coming up here. This 14 crossing the 72 for Bitcoin is going to mean great things for the overall market. That's going to come up there and start that next leg toward 100K, right? So if we're talking about the total capital in crypto market following the same exact trend, trending along that 14, right now we have that aggression, that angle coming in there, and we are headed to have that golden cross in the total market cap for all of crypto. That is very good for the crypto market and the liquidity coming into the crypto market. Again, last time this happened, the total capital crypto market was around 1.5 trillion. And that golden cross led us to 2.7, almost a complete 100% increase in the capital that was in the market. So even right now, us crossing at 2.4, duplicate that process, and we are now at a 5 trillion in total capital in the market, thus a higher high, the highest amount of capital we've had in the crypto market ever. And that is how you transition and you get into peak bull run by all that capital coming in there. So we are setting up to see some of those numbers. And this is one of the reasons why I say, unless something deviates here in the macro picture, there's not a reason to panic by what you're seeing in the micro. The macros say we're going up, right? It's evident across the board. Bitcoin says it. The total market cap says it. The Doge chart says it. We can take a look at that. All these, the evidence is leading to the market is going up, and we haven't hit peak bull run yet. So don't get caught up in some of the short-term noise and let it discourage you by looking at a daily candle and what just happened in the last 15 minutes. Shorts running, right? This is Dogecoin shorts. This is I don't. This is absolute evidence here. For those of you who may have a hard time, or the people that hate Dogecoin that comes in comments on my video, explain that, right? If the people that are designed to make money, or their passion is making money on Dogecoin coming down, which would mean they would have to be entering right now if they believe we're about to enter a downtrend or have a breakdown in the market in order to turn that profit. What is this for the last couple of weeks? Where's the confidence that Doge is going down? Right? It's non-existent. And that's because they're looking at the signals and they're seeing the signs that we're seeing, and they're about to have the opposite. The 14 cross the 72 to the downside, which is a death cross, right? That's relevant in shorts because they obviously can mostly trade the news and hype and shock value stuff. But just for word of expression, that's how severe that they are running out of the shorts here for this coin. So overall, we are in absolutely great shape. The numbers are looking promising for this trend up. Again, we have certainly a few days, maybe even a week or so, depending on how strong these movements are, because we can get a candle today that shoots above the 72, but that's not necessarily the average crossing the 72. We would have to kind of trend up there. So that's why I said we're maybe like a week or so out from that happening. But overall, the trends are there, the signals are there, everything's looking good. No reason to absolutely panic. So just want to provide that update for you guys. Doge and the crypto market are all hinting up. Bull run is still on. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please help the channel get to 100,000 before Bitcoin it does. So if you can help by subscribing to the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.